So welcome you all to the session. So before going to the second law of thermodynamics, we should know that why we will going for second law of thermodynamics, though there is first law of thermodynamics. What are the limitations? There are some limitation of first law of thermodynamics. For that we will go for second law of thermodynamics. So see, we are dealing with so many processes in our daily life. Okay, some processes are explained by the first law of thermodynamics and some processes which are not explained by some process behavior are not explained by your first law of thermodynamics. For that reason, and what are the behavior that cannot be explained in first law of thermodynamics? Let me give you the example. We take some example that some processes are spontaneous and while their reserve counterpart do not show. Some process will be occur, but the reverse will cannot be do so. So for example, a hot body loses heat when it kept in a cold environment spontaneously. That is natural. But the reverse process of surroundings losing heat and body become hotter would never occur spontaneously. If you keep a hot cup of tea in a room, that hot cup of tea will become cold after some times. Why? Because it will be exposed to the environment and it will reject some heat to the environment. And it is not possible that you kept a cold cup of tea and the heat that amount of heat lost by the hot coffee that will be taken by the cold coffee and it will be heated. It is not possible. So these are some spontaneous process. Another example. Suppose there is a pressurized tank. Okay. And if you open the valve of a pressurized tank, then what will happen? Some of the air will go to the atmosphere. But is it possible that if you open the valve, some atmospheric air will be entered into the tank? It is not possible. So it is also a spontaneous process. Okay. Then another example I am giving. Suppose a fruit on a tree. When it will be fall on the ground, the potential energy converted to kinetic energy and kinetic energy will be the heat energy and get wasted. So is it possible a fruit lying on the earth surface or lying on the ground will picked up or will be elevated to the because of the heat from the environment? It is not possible. So these are the some spontaneous process which behavior we cannot describe by the first law of thermodynamics. Okay. So quality of energy. So you know that heat is a low grade energy and work is a high grade energy. Okay. It is also seen that not all energy are equal in term of the ease with which it lends itself to exfoliate called for useful work. So there are so many types of energy available in our surrounding, but all the energies are not useful work. Likewise, the sun radiates some heat. So you can you utilize the sun, that solar energy, directly to run the fan, to run your water heater? No. So that means you have to convert that heat into useful work, then only you can utilize. So here the quality the energy will be degraded. So let me give you an example. An ocean at ambient temperature may have lots of thermal energy. The ocean at ambient temperature have lots of thermal energy. But utilizing that ocean water, you can run the fan. You can run the electricity of your household. No. But steam generated in the boiler can much more easily move the turbine and produce work. The steam boiler, you have to boil the water and produce the steam. It has much more thermal energy so that it will run the turbine, but you cannot run the turbine by the ocean water, though it has more thermal energy it has. Okay, so that depends upon the quality of energy. So this is your second limitation, you can know. First is your spontaneous, second is your quality of energy, third is limit of efficiency. While it is possible to convert all the work to energy, but all heat does not seem to be ever get converted to work. That was discussed in the first chapter also, that heat is a low grade energy, work is a high grade energy. All the heat energy cannot be converted to work, but all the work may be converted to heat. Okay. The second law of thermodynamics gives us those rules to plug the gap that are left by first law. So these are the gap by the first law which will be overcome by the second law of thermodynamics. First, that is a spontaneous process. Second, quality of energy or limit to efficiency. So with these gaps will be covered by the second law will be thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. Let me discuss what is second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics have two statements. One is your Kelvin-Planck statement, another one is your Clausius statement. What is Kelvin-Planck statement? So it is impossible for any device. It is impossible for any device that operates in a cycle, receives heat from a single reservoir and produce net amount of work. As I told you that all the heat cannot be converted to work. So if you are giving heat to a system or any device, so can you say that the heat given, the amount of heat given is equal to the amount of work? No, it cannot be possible. So the Kelvin-Planck statement is said that it is impossible for any device that operates in a cycle, receives heat from single reservoir and produce net amount of work. That is not possible. Okay. The Kelvin-Planck statement of second law of thermodynamics states that no heat engine can produce net amount of work while exchanging heat in a single reservoir only. So some of the heat supplied means some of the heat must be reject. Then you get the work. That is possible. But the amount of heat you are giving, the amount of work you get, it is not possible. That is your Kelvin-Planck statement. That is the second law of thermodynamics. Then next is your Clausius statement. So before explain you Clausius statement, let me discuss something, that when you are working the refrigerator, you have to put the plug into the electricity, or you have to give the electric work or electrical energy, then only the refrigerator will be work, otherwise the refrigerator will not work. So what is the function of refrigerator? It will maintain the coldness, it will maintain make the things cold. So whenever we give the electrical energy to the refrigerator, then only it works, otherwise it will not work. Okay. So what is, according to this, the Clausius statement is arranged that it is impossible to construct a device that operates in a cycle which extract heat from low temperature reservoir and supply it to high temperature reservoir without any external agency. We all know that the heat will be transferred from high temperature to low temperature. But is it possible to transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature? Yes, it will be possible. When you are giving any work input. So if you are not giving any work input, then it is not possible that you have to transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature. So see, this is a cold refrigerator space, that is QL amount of 5 kilojoule and heat is 5 kilojoule. So you have to transfer the heat from low temperature side to high temperature side, that one environment. But it is possible? No, it is not possible. When it is possible? When you have to give some work input. See, this is here net work done is 0. If net work done is 0, then it is not possible to transfer heat from low temperature side to high temperature side. So that is the statement. It is impossible to construct a device that operates in a cycle which extract heat from low temperature reservoir and supply it to high temperature reservoir without any external agency, without any external work. That is your Clausius statement. Clear? So there are two statements. One is your Kelvin-Planck statement, another one is your Clausius statement. That is the second law of thermodynamics. So then what is the application of second law of thermodynamics? Application of second law of thermodynamics is heat engine, heat pump and refrigerator. Okay. So let me discuss heat engine. What is heat engine? The engine or device which convert the heat energy into mechanical work, that is known as heat engine. So before we discuss heat engine, some terms or terminology you have to discuss. So here I told you that reservoir, thermal energy reservoir is written. So what is that thermal energy reservoir? The thermal reservoir, or simply a reservoir, is a special kind of system that always remain at constant temperature even though energy is added or energy removed by the heat transfer. Okay. So thermal reservoir is that reservoir where it maintain always constant temperature. You may add the heat or you may take the heat from the reservoir. The temperature remain constant. Clear? So any physical body whose thermal energy capacity is large relative to the amount of energy it supply or absorb can be known as reservoir. For example, air in a room, the earth atmosphere, air in a room, how it will be the example? So there is the summer season, there will be winter season, you are cooking inside the food, but the air temperature is the same. That is what is the atmospheric temperature. It will not change its temperature because of you are cooking the food, you are supplying some heat, you are using the room heater, that will be not changes. So no, it is an open room. So air in a room, the earth atmosphere, large body of water, lake, ocean and so on. If you are giving the hot water to the ocean or you take the water from the ocean, the temperature remains same. Okay. The thermal reservoir is categorized by two things, that is your source, another one is your sink. Okay. So what do you mean by source? A high temperature reservoir that supply energy in the form of heat to the system. A reservoir which supply energy in the form of heat to the system is known as your source. What is sink? A low temperature reservoir that absorb energy in the form of heat from the source. So which one is supply? That is your source. Which one is absorb heat? That is your sink. Source always maintain high temperature, then only he can supply. Then only that can supply some heat. And sink has low temperature, so though it has low temperature, so it will be absorb heat. So thermal reservoir too. So we are dealing with source and sink. We should know what is thermal reservoir. It will come in 2 marks. So next we will discuss heat engine. So as we know that the net amount of heat cannot be converted to work directly, but conversion of heat into work requires some special device. Such devices are called heat engine. The device which convert the heat energy into work is called, such device is called heat engine. Okay. A heat engine is a device which operates in a cycle. It receives heat energy from high temperature reservoir. That means it receives heat from source. High temperature reservoir we know that is your source. Clear? Sorry for the interruption. The heat energy is a device that operates in a cycle. It receives heat from the high temperature reservoir, that is source, and source may having maintained temperature TH. High temperature, T stands for temperature, A stands for high. High temperature reservoir, that is source. And convert the part of heat energy that the system get. This is the heat engine. It get QH amount of heat from the source, and part of QH amount of heat will be utilized to produce work, and remaining heat will be rejected to the low temperature reservoir. What is the function of low temperature reservoir? It will absorb heat.